As a sequel to our previous video on the split snatch, we're pleased to have one of the best coaches on splitting movements from back in the days of York in the 1960s with us this week to help us. Tommy Suggs is here. Several videos in this series that he has agreed to do with us on various aspects of things that you and I have forgotten about. And Tommy's going to help Julie with the split snatch. I introduced the technique to you in our last video on this topic, and Tommy is going to pick up where I left off and make much more sense doing it. Tommy?
Thank you, Rip. I'm not sure about more sense. And we have a limited amount of thing that we're trying to accomplish here. Julie and I worked together after the round table. And she was having trouble getting down in her split snatches, and I showed her a few things. And we're going to revisit that and I'm going to show you the things that I showed her then. And we also have a little something special here, because what I want to do is, Julie started, and I want to caution you right now. She started getting down lower, and she wasn't really used to it. She started moving up the weights a little too quick. She got a lot of soreness, or developed a lot of soreness that caused her to have to kind of back off of it. So what you want to do, I want to express this right now, is when you start with this, we're going to start with just the bar. You should stay with that for a week or so. And then add weight just very slow, and as you're able to accommodate it and you're not getting any soreness. If you have a workout where you get pretty sore, back off a little bit and let that soreness go out, and then start moving back up again. Now, but you won't be handling much weight in your snatches, but what you want to do is you can do power snatches, you can do high pulls in your squats. That'll keep your strength up. And then as you come up, because if you start having bad habits with a heavier weight, it's hard to ever correct it. It's better start with a lighter weight and do them correct, and every time you move up, do those correct. Also, Julie had a little problem in that she started doing something a little bit wrong, and I'll point that out when we get there. And we're going to show her and you a way of not having that happen to you. All right, Julie, let me get over here on this side. First, we're going to show you the position that you need to be in a split snatch. Julie, just go down and you see right here, this is just like a one-legged squat. She's down. The knee is just right over the toe, right in this area. Her body's straight, and her back leg should be straight. Now, her back leg isn't completely straight as it should be. She's a little tight in her hip flexors. So she's going to work on that, get down and stretch those things, and she wants to do it on both of them. But she needs to stretch, and you will probably need to stretch, so you get that leg straight, and being flexible there is very, very important. All right, now stand on up. Why don't you get your bar, if you would. Now, put the bar in. Let's do one more thing. Now go down into that position again. They give you a little rest anyway. Right there, See how nice and low you get? You're not giving away much by using the split. Now, when in this position, you should get a training partner to come here, and right here is where the bar is going to be. Right here. And make a mark. Or you can make it over here. And, excuse me for turning my back to you. And then make a little mark around your toe here, and make a mark there. All right, you can stand up now. And then you'll put your feet on the place right where that line is your middle line. And whenever you do these splits, work it with no weight at all. I used to come in from class when I was going to college, and I had my feet marked for squat solid, but I've also done it for jerks and for split too, but I'm doing splitting. And you come in and you do like sets of 10 of just splitting. And each time you do, you look to make sure your feet are in the right position. Because what happened with Julie is she started getting her front foot out this way instead of here. And that would hit, and it would jam her knee, and she started having knee trouble. So what you want to do is make sure it's hitting just right every time. Always hit, when you hit the whole bottom. Don't hit down there and ease into it. Hit down. Like in a squat snatch, you hit the bottom. On a split snatch, you also hit the bottom. Just to start with. All right. Julie, once you get the bar, and I'm going to show you some, so do a couple of splits first, like we were talking about, and we'll pretend that this is a line, and just go down and, from this position and do those split snatches. There you go, see? Now come on up, and you ought to do a lot of repetitions so it becomes just automatic for you. You do another one like that. Right there, that's what we want. All right, stand up and study that position right there because that's just perfect. Get your bar now. Okay, now we're going to do what they call a drop snatch. You put your bar on your shoulder, and she's going to just go up on her toes. You don't have to bend your knees or anything. Up on your toes and drop down into the split. This is a good way to learn the split position with a little bit of weight on you. And the squat lifters use it all the time, but it's good for split lifters also. All right, go ahead, Julie, do a couple of those. On up. See how she hit all the way down to the bottom to start with? Couple of toes is off. There you go. See how the knee hit? She needs to learn to get that a little straighter. One more time. And you hit right down at the very bottom to start with. And you hit tight. There you go. And that looks real good, and that's a real good position. Set your palm on down now for a second. We'll give her just a little bit of a breather because we don't want to wear her out completely. And this is where I'm going to make a deal with Julie. Now the deal is this. Before I showed her these things and she was going real good, and she moved up a little too quick. And so she kind of pulled back. I was real anxious to see how she was doing. Well, she has this story about being sore, and I understand that, of course. Now, I'm going to come back in a couple of months, and we're going to see how she does with the weight. She's going to start with this weight, light weights, and she's going to stay with it a week or so, start adding a little bit of weight to it, and see how she do it. After about, just a week or so, go ahead and start putting a little bit of weight and doing it from the floor. Right. So you have your sequence and all. But then for your strength, don't worry about going heavy. For your strength, do your power snatches and your high pulls, your deadlifts and all that for your strength part. But you want to move this along kind of slow so that you're always doing it right and you never develop bad habits. All right, and so just move it along slow. After about a week or two, you put a little bit of weight on, you make sure you're doing it right. All right, now let's show them one more thing that we want to do that helps you to learn that position real quick. Get your forearm, if you would. And this is from the hang, well, we might say upright hang. Because what she's going to do, and Julie, don't use your knees, you promise?
I promise.
Is that she's just going to use just her traps and coming up on her toes like the final thing of a pull. The idea is to force you to move quickly and hit that low position to start with. And so even if you miss because you didn't pull it quite high enough, don't worry. It's better to miss one and move fast than to have it pulled up real high and catch it where you're not in the lowest position. You need to always learn that every time you hit low. Every time. Now, Rip is standing over there in the background, and I remember when I coached him, 4 years ago, he was having trouble getting out of the bed. He got where he was hitting lower and lower. He ended up making, what about your best record, didn't you? I think one of your best snatches. And he would, by the time he really went out there for that one, he was hitting low. But you always hit low. A squat snatch, you just control your pull and you hit low. Same thing on here.
What you told me that day was hit every rep at the same depth.
It's same depth and all the way.
Don't rely on being able to go lower and lower as it gets heavier and heavier. Make your plans to be low every time.
And that's the whole idea. And you don't, every time you start moving your weight up and you feel that you're not placing your feet properly or you're not hitting that low position, back up and wait. You need to make haste very slowly right now if you're just starting. Now, if you're a seasoned lifter, it's different. And Julie will probably move up faster than some, but you don't want to jump up too fast and start developing bad habits too soon. All right, now this is the one from the upright hang. All right, up on toes and traps. Quick. See how quick she had to move on that? All right, good. One more, make it even quicker. Quick on the toes. Good. See now, look at that position. That's a good position. Look how low she is. Sit on down. And that's what you, That's fine. I think that's good. Because those were good positions, and you show that. And what she needs to do is when you do those, see how fast, continually see how fast you can come down.
Okay.
Just get down there faster. That speed is what you want to develop now. And position, your strength will be developed with your assistant exercises. And you bring this along so that no matter what you have on there, as you work your way up and you finally get to handling this good weight, you'll always be hitting that position and you'll always be quick. But otherwise, you'll start developing those bad habits in between, just like you did when you start putting your foot out.
Right.
And if you mark on the platform, it's really helpful. Then you will see when your feet aren't in the correct position. And it just takes a small little mark so you know about where you are. All right, that ought to pretty well wrap it up. Julie,
Thank you.
a handshake on the deal?
Yes.
All right,
Couple
good.
months.
Good.
We'll
Give
see
me a
you
call
then.
too between,
Okay.
yeah, an email.
Okay.
And we'll kind of keep up with what's going on with you.
Okay.
All right, real good. Thank you.
Thank you.